What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. This is my kind of reaction to the story of the black woman, the single mother that her two kids died. This is more of a reaction versus me going down into the like the article and stuff like that, because there's still more information needs to come out. I'll probably do another video, a formal video about it, reading the article and everything, but I just wanted to put this out here initially. So, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like the content, if you want to join the conversation. I like to think that I do kind of, go at angles a lot of people don't go at. So even if you disagree with me, put it in the comment section, keep it, cordial and like you're grown, and I respond to all my comments. I usually will give you a very good response. If you act like you got some sense. Always like the video, check in with a like, check out with a comment, let your voice be heard, click on the links in the description, got a Discord, Patreon, all that good stuff, join the community, join the conversation. Because like I said, I like to think I keep it real even when it hurts. So anyway, so this has been a couple of days ago, that it's this woman, it's really a tragic story. This woman had two kids that basically in Detroit, Michigan, that those kids froze to death. Apparently they were found in a parking lot. Those kids froze to death. And people are trying to, there's been stuff coming out where, well, I'll get to that in a second, but people are trying to figure out what's going on. Why didn't you, the father has spoken on this, whatever he said, and so it's going around in social media. People are trying to throw the blame. I see a lot of deflection from the single mother, like where was the father, where was the state, and I'm going to give my opinion on that, but like I said, this is more of a reaction versus me digging into the article. I'll probably do that in a more comprehensive video, probably give it the next day after tomorrow when this video gets launched. And y'all have that. Well, we'll dig into all of that. So with that, I just want to say that up front. That being said, let me say this. First of all, that woman is a custodian of those kids. That is her responsibility first and foremost. We can play this game about like where's the father and all that. She was deemed to have custody of the kids. So that becomes her responsibility. That becomes her. Y'all would not be saying where's the mother if he was the custodian of those kids. If she was homeless, she had no business having those kids. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago. I know there's a lot of folks actually in this, whether they have channels or don't have channels. Anton is in Michigan, Detroit. Shout out to Bernard Riley. I haven't seen him in a minute. Shout out to Christian, Christian as well. And, Michigan has had a very cold, even for Michigan, has had a very cold winter. Just keep that in mind. Like, it's been in the 20s, like, for weeks, according to various people I've heard that live in Michigan. Shout out to Nate, too. Understand that they usually call it DCFS, at least they do in Chicago. It's hard for me to believe that she said that she needs help and the state didn't help. So the questions, and I'm going to frame this in what I'm looking for, because I don't want to be accusatory when I don't have the information. So here's a question, and I'm going to give you some reasoning behind the questions that I'm looking for. Question number one, I want to know what actual contact, when you say you ask for help, what does that mean? What does that mean? And the reason I'm asking that is because the kids are going to get help. The kids are minors. Whether that shows up in foster care, whether that shows up in a group home. I was in foster care for a year. I know how quickly they can go. You can get in the system and how hard it is to get out. I uniquely understand that. But it's easy to get in the system, especially if you're a minor. And those kids were kids. They're not 13-year-old, not 12-year-old. They were young. So it would have been nothing putting them in an emergency foster home. These are black kids. Let's not act like they don't have that system ready to go. Let's stop playing. So if you did make contact, there are counselors, social workers and stuff. I have an aunt that, is in a home. They have social workers there. That's their job, to look out for that stuff and make sure. And so this idea that you're asking for help and you just didn't get it, I need to know specifically what were you talking about? Because it's a very strong possibility. And again, I need to read the article, see what people are saying, but it's a very strong possibility that you wanted help you wanted help. And the kids were the mechanism by you getting help. And if you didn't think you were going to get help and the kids were going to be separated from you, then you just rather not deal with it. As far as the father, the reality is, again, it sounds like it's being put as a package deal. And so we'll see. But people on social media are trying to do everything but blame her because, black women identify with her and they think you're owed all this. No, you're not. The kids may be owed help, but ultimately that's whoever you negotiate with. The reality is, if you're in a shelter, you're homeless, and you're in that situation, the first thing they're going to do is separate those kids. Women know that. Black, white, whatever. And so that informs their decision on how they go about getting help. So that's why I want to know more specifically about what were you actually doing? Because ultimately, and it could be an issue where the state was negligent. Absolutely. But this is what generally the state will move to do very quickly. That's why you don't hear about this stuff happen often, because they're very quick about it. So that's the first question I kind of want to know. The second question I want to know is, how much did the father know? Because if the father knew she was in this situation, it does become his responsibility to inform the authorities. If he can't take those kids, then those kids be out of her custody. And if he did that and they refused to remove them from her custody, because see, people are trying to frame this where he should have took them in. Yeah, I can understand that from a moral standpoint, absolutely. But ultimately, if he doesn't have the income, or we don't know if she has mental issues or drug issues, he definitely should have at least been aware of what's going on with his kids and stuff like that. But we don't know what that situation is. See, the thing that people don't want to have an honest conversation about is, this is what happened when black women think that a family is them and some kids and a man is not involved. They look for the nearest man, and if they can't find the nearest man, they look for the state to blame as to what their situation is. At the end of the day, her first job should have been to get rid of those kids if she couldn't take care of them. Point blank. Clearly, family wasn't willing to take it, whether it's her parents, whether aunts, siblings, the state. This is why I need to know more of that first question I was talking about. And we have this situation is the state, unless she's homeless or she's a real and present danger threat to those kids, are not really looking to give those kids to the father. This is why a lot of times when they say they want what's best for your kids, no, that's not true. That's what y'all say as a pretext to give it to the mother, because the tender years doctrine, which is kind of like a legal foundation for this stuff, has said that the best interest of the kids is with the mother. That's all. That's kind of implied, unless it's just some overwhelming factor that can't be denied. And then the man has to be 100% on point for him to get custody. And so this is kind of an ongoing story, kind of a developing story. I know the father has spoken about it. I know there's a lot of stuff going on social media. Like I said, I'll do a comprehensive video really going through it, going through what people are saying, going through what the father said, going through what she initially said, what a couple of articles are doing. So be looking out for that video. But I just wanted to give kind of like a reaction to it. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's the father's fault? Do you think it's the state's fault? Do you think it's her fault first and foremost because she was the custodian of the kids? Do you think that she's making excuses because she's not trying to get charged for negligence? What have you heard about this story? Have you heard this story? Have you heard similar stories like this? Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, if you got this far, type in custody in the comment section. If you don't type in anything else, much appreciated. Check out, further videos that I have. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.